Series wiring, there's nothing to be scared of. Honestly, it's actually really simple. It's just making one big circuit that goes all the way back again. Now there's some huge advantages of series wiring. In another video I'll go over a few more, but I will tell you them just on the base of it. Essentially, with series wiring at 350 milliamp, and we'll just talk about 350 milliamp right now, you can run from driver to last light a kilometre at just a 0.5 milliconductor size. Now we do have a calculator on our website if you want to find a little bit more about volt drop, and I'll leave the link in the description. Okay, so with series wiring, what you're doing is you're essentially wiring in to positive, out negative, into the next positive, so on and so forth until you come back to base again. So in this example, I'm just going to show you about this box and these two lights. So when it comes to doing the connections, it's pretty simple. We've got a supply in coming from the bottom, and we've got our two lights coming out on the right hand side here. Supply in, we go in for the red positive one connector into the red of the first light, and then out of the black of the first light into the red of the second light. And finally, we have our return path coming together, just like that. So what you're seeing here, if I just pull this out and around a little bit, if I can, I'll pull that cable through just a bit. As you can see here, so this is supply in, into the first light, through the first light, and back again, out into the second light, through, and back again, and back to the return path. And it would be the same if you had, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lights here. It's just in, out between all of them and back again. Now, the thing is that you just watch me do that live, and I can do that because I've created a patented device that prevents what we call hot swapping. Series wiring has an issue whereby you can have this issue with hot swapping. So what that means is essentially the LED will blow if you work on it live on any normal LED driver. So if you were using a normal LED driver and you needed to alter these connections, the first thing that you would do is you would power off, switch off at the wall here, which just turns lights off. Now, if there were lights already connected and working, you don't need to do anything. But if they weren't working, what you should do is take the negative and the positive and just touch them together just to kill any current that's in there. You will be shocked at how much current is stored in the LED driver when you power it on open circuit. Now you do all your connections and turn it back on again. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, with our lights, when you connect them back to front, they come on red. It's actually an indicator to tell you that you've got something around the wrong way. I'm going to just alter this round and I'll just show you why. So with some brands, if you connect it back to front, what happens is they either just don't come on or they blow up. So Lux are pretty good, they just don't come on. So you have to just basically just check your connections, just reverse them around and see what's going on. Again, I can work on it live because I've got this patented hot swap device. Please don't do it normally, but essentially then when you see it around the right way, you can see now this light's actually come on quite nicely. There are some brands out there to say they actually blow up the LED chip when they're back to front, and when I used to do garden lighting, what used to happen was we used to have this scenario where we fitted a load of garden lighting, powered it all on, and some of it wouldn't work, and we do whatever and just find that we couldn't get some of the fittings working at all, and we thought that they were faulty from factory, and it turns out that likelihood is that we connected them back to front and blew them up. So you have to be kind of mindful of that. I say we've put a red LED in ours to indicate it. Lux are good in that they just don't come on, but they still allow the circuit to continue, so it doesn't stop the whole circuit. Some brands that don't have that reverse protection, well, not only it may damage the LED, but it also stop the entire circuit working, so it's quite difficult to find where your connections ran the wrong way, because if you've got boxes all over the garden, that can be a bit of an issue. So what I'm going to show you now is what happens when you wire them in parallel. So let's just take a quick look at what it looked like in series again. Oh, I've flipped one around the wrong way. Let's turn these round. So we've got our illumination levels. You can kind of see it looks, I would say it was really bright. Yeah, so I put my hand up there. It's very white, crisp light against my hand. Same here, okay. If we were in parallel, so if we were just to put all our reds and all our blacks together, this is what will happen. So we're going to put all our blacks in this one wago. Oh look, see we've got one light on. And now we're going to put in these two reds. Oops, there we go. With one on, actually this is a really good example. So with one on, you see that brightness. Now look, when I add one, do you see how much dimmer the whole circuit gets? So add it in, it gets about half as dim. Take it away, it goes brighter again. And what's happening there is essentially, instead of all the lights in 350 milliamp, they're actually sharing the current. And the problem with sharing the current is it means we're gonna have lower brightness because these depend on constant current, not constant voltage. So in our most basic form, this is what series wiring looks like, and you can see how easy it is to understand. So we've got supply in, into positive, out of negative of the first light, into positive of the second, out of negative of the second light, into positive of the third light, so on and so forth, all the way around until we return. So it just makes one big circuit. Now the disadvantage is that we have a cable cut here, the whole circuit doesn't work. Obviously with parallel wiring, the advantage you've got is that if a cable gets cut here, all the lights, if this was, you know, red, black all the way around to the last light, it would all work up to the point where it was cut, which kind of gives you a really good indication of where the damage is. So that's the disadvantage, but the real advantage is that you can go from supply to last light, a kilometre, relatively, and at just really small conductor sizes, 0.5 mil of conductor that we work with. So on our cable calculator online, you'll find that if you put in 12 watt of lights, put in 2,000 meters of cable, which is, as you imagine, it's so supply to last light is a kilometre, but you've got to go all the way there and all the way back again. So it's 2,000 meters, 2 kilometers. You'll be able to run 12 watt lighting off a 35 watt driver. And the cable losses the driver deals with and just raises the voltage to deal with the cable losses, so that by the time you get to the last light, it's seeing enough current that that's a non-issue and you don't get any dimming down your line, which is super useful. So hopefully you found this video educational. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. And if not, give it a thumbs down and tell me in the comments what I should have done differently. Either way, I need to know. Now, if you'd like to learn about SWA versus MYY, click this video.